It's no longer news that the Central Bank of Nigeria has finally unified the foreign exchange market, and therefore there's no longer anything called official exchange rate and parallel market exchange rate, also known as the black market. Now, you may be wondering, how does this affect the Nigerian economy and how does this affect you or me personally? And I'm going to explain this very quickly. Follow me and pay attention. There's going to be a rise in government debt. Now, this policy was put in place to merge the foreign exchange market window, and therefore a system was created called the I&E system. That is to say, the investors and exporters window. That model allows you to now decide based on market forces how what the exchange rate should be. Completely different from what was obtainable before. All right. So in the process, a system called willing buyer and willing sellers mechanism is now in place. So you decide to buy at your preferred rate. What this means is that banks are allowed to sell at a competitive market price, which is a much more transparent system. When you allow demand and supply determine the price of an item, you know that you are paying for something based on equilibrium or an equitable system. Whereas before now, there is almost a rigid system where government decides the cost for official rates. Now, what this does for the Nigerian economy is that it opens us up to both advantages and disadvantages. I quickly go through the disadvantages, which are quite few. First of all, there's going to be a rise initially in government debt in naira terms because there's not going to be any official rates anymore, and it's surely not going to sell below the former official rate of 450 to a dollar. It means there's going to be a rise in government debt in naira terms. Now, external debt of $42 billion will eventually increase. That's because the naira is going to be exchanging for higher than it was when we had an official exchange rate regime. Consequently, our debt to GDP ratio will eventually increase. And then a corresponding increase in our debt servicing costs regarding foreign debts will eventually emerge. Now, what are the positives? First positive is that government revenue will increase in naira terms, because suddenly what we earn in dollars when exchanged to the new, unified rate, which is higher than the 450 official, will have an increase in our revenue in naira. And then this will also result in a higher tax revenue to GDP ratio for Nigeria. And then reduction in our budget deficit is likely to happen if our forex revenue exceeds our foreign currency obligations. What more are we looking to benefit? How is it going to affect us? Well, the Nigerian capital market will benefit a lot. You must have heard that last week Nigeria attained a 15-year high in the all share index. That is to say, we made so much gain in the capital market that we have not seen in the last 15 years. What this means is because foreign investors have seen that this is a much more transparent way to run our foreign exchange market, and therefore they are now willing to participate more. So more money coming into the Nigerian stock market. Also, there is going to be a negligible impact in the general cost of goods and services, because a lot of people are wondering, is this also going to cause more inflation? Well, completely not. That's because the cost of goods and services actually priced in the parallel market rates that was operational before, which is far higher than what this unified rates is now. Currently now, the dollar is exchanging for about 600 and something to $1. All right. Goods and services will not be impacted negatively. We're already dealing seriously with that after the increase in the pump price of petroleum products. Okay. And then there's something called round tripping in the banking industry. Now, people who are highly placed and are involved in politics as well, who can find their way through the system. They buy this thing initially when we had two systems, buying from the official market rate at 400 and something naira to a dollar and selling at 750 in the parallel market. That was complete round tripping, which is fraudulent. Now, that is completely eliminated with this unified window. What that means is that there's going to be less pressure on the dollars, because when there's scarcity of foreign exchange, then you find the price going high. Now that round tripping is going to be completely eliminated, it means that the demand for the dollar may eventually reduce. And of course, when the demand for goods reduces, the price also reduces, meaning the naira over a long period after now will experience some level of stability and also experience some level of appreciation. And then also, foreign credit ratings for Nigeria will improve if the government sustains this transparent, unified system. And then, of course, it means that more foreign direct investment comes into the Nigerian economy, meaning more foreign revenue generation. I'd like to hear your bit about what this new unified structure in the foreign exchange market holds, and share your own opinions in the comment section.